Hi, boys and girls. I'm going to read you a story called Who Stole the Mona Lisa? And it is written by Ruthie Knapp. Here we go. Who stole the Mona Lisa? And remember, boys and girls, this beautiful lady is the Mona Lisa. Hey, here they come. People with hair. People with down hair, people with skirts, people with shirts, people with hats, people and spats, boots and suits. They're coming to stare at me. Mona Lisa. Shh, listen to the guide. Look at all of these people are looking at the Mona Lisa. They're looking at her. They're looking at the Mona Lisa. Shh, quiet. They're in the museum. This is the Mona Lisa, the mighty Mona Lisa, the greatest painting in the world. She is famous for her mysterious smile. Is it a growing smile or a knowing smile? Is it a shy smile or a sly smile? Now let's look at her eyes. They follow you wherever you go. Everyone moves. Some walk to the left, some walk to the right, some stoop low, some stand on their tippy toes. Children turn sideways and sometimes upside down to peek through their legs. Is that the Mona Lisa? They ask, is she real? Tall people poke their noses up close. I can smell their breath, garlic, coffee, cigars. They all stare at me. Shh, here's the guide again. Mona Lisa is the one talking. Mona Lisa's name was Lisa Giordani. She was Italian. She married when she was 16. Mona means my lady in Italian. Mona Lisa got tired posing for her portrait. When she squirmed, the painter told her to be still. If she dozed, he tickled her nose with a paintbrush. If she scratched, he asked her if she had ants in her pants. When Mona was moody, he hired musicians and clowns to amuse her. Leonardo da Vinci is the artist who painted me. It took him 4 years. Leonardo loved me. He looked at me while he ate pasta. He would not travel without me. He said I was his masterpiece. I was famous because Leonardo was famous. Fans jammed into his studio to watch him paint. Sometimes he set off colored smoke bombs to please them. Ooh, ah, amazing, they said. Leonardo was a sculptor, an architect, an inventor, and an engineer. He drew designs of helicopters, parachutes, tanks, and a robot. People heard that he wrote backwards. Draw cab. How clever is that? People heard that he loved animals. They had seen him buy an animal in cages at the market only to set them free. People saw that he was an amazing painter. Soon I was the most famous painting in Europe. I was famous for being famous. The Mona Lisa. A French king named Francis I invited Leonardo to paint in his court, and the two men became friends. After Leonardo died, I was given to King Francis, who admired me as he feasted on frogs' legs and wine. I stayed in France for many years with many different kings. 2 named Francis, 3 named Henry, and 1 Charles, and 4 Louis. Look at all the kings and queens. who stayed and had Mona Lisa live with them. Finally, a French emperor named Napoleon got me. Napoleon hung me in his bedroom. He looked at me and dusted the diamonds in his crown, and one day he decided to give me to the Louvre Museum in Paris, where I could be seen around the world. At the museum, I became world famous. Day after day, crowds came to see me. Day after day, a man with a mustache came to look at me. Do you see him? One hot night in August, I heard footsteps. The man with the mustache came alone in the dark. He measured me, 21 inches wide and 30 inches tall. Then he tiptoed away. Early the next morning, I heard footsteps again. The man with the mustache was back. This time, he was wearing a white workman's smock. Look at this smock. He looked behind him, then he raised both hands, and he tipped me off of the wall. Ouch! First, I lurched sideways and then upside down. I felt sick. My veil slid over one eye. A honey cake fell from my lap. He hid me under his white smock. I could feel his heartbeat. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. He tiptoed to a dark place and he pried me from my frame. Eek! My shoes squeaked. His shoes squeaked as he ran out of the museum. The next day, the museum went wild. Where was the Mona Lisa? Where was the famous painting in the world? Did someone hide her? Look, she's missing. Oh my gosh. They looked for me in the closets, in the corners. They looked for me in the dustbins and the vents. They found a fingerprint and my frame in the stairwell. Aha! She must be in the photo studio. But I was not. Was I in the baker's oven down the road? Too hot. Was I in the hippo's hay at the zoo? Nope, too smelly. The detectives searched boats and benches, freight trains and farms. The museums posted a reward for my return. They asked fortune tellers to track me down. Still, people came to see no Mona Lisa. Millions of people. People came from all over, people from afar, people from Giza, people from Pisa, people from New York and Peking. Some of them cried. One fainted with grief. All that was left of me was a space on the wall, and people still came. They came to see the hooks where I hung. They wanted to see where I wasn't. They wrote me poems and songs, and they sent me love letters. Look, they loved her so much. They even came to visit her when she wasn't there. The Mona Lisa, somebody stole her. The man with the mustache loved me too. He said I reminded him of someone special. He looked at me at every meal, over apples and eggs and trout, cake and prunes and piglet snout. He looked at me on rainy days and snowy days. He looked at me during the summer squalls. He looked at me when he bathed. He looked at me while he shaved. He looked at me for 2 years. 2 years. I was tired of the man with the mustache. I missed my wall. I missed people staring. I missed children looking sideways and upside down. One day, the man with the mustache heard the police were searching for him nearby. He grabbed me and stuck me under the stove. I could barely breathe. I thought of my kings and their beautiful palaces. I thought of the museum and my place on the wall. And I remembered when I was the great Mona Lisa. Now, instead of crowds, I saw cobwebs. And instead of admirers, I saw ants. She was stuck underneath the stove. The man in the mustache decided it was not safe to keep me in Paris, so he wrapped me in a red cloth and stuffed me in a trunk and took me back to Italy by the train. Look at, she's stuffed inside this trunk. The train screeched around the bends and roared through the tunnels. Heavy things bumped in my trunk as the man with the mustache growled and cursed. When we arrived in Italy, he tried to sell me, but people recognized me and called the police. The man with the mustache was sent to jail, and I was booked on an express train back to Paris. They caught him, and they grabbed Mona Lisa, and she was going back home. When I was returned to my wall, at the museum. Oh, look, she's getting hung back up where she belongs. The museum went wild and everyone was talking. The Mona Lisa is back! People brought me flowers and cried with joy. They lit fireworks. Did I look the same? Was I hurt? People lined the streets to see me. 100,000 people visited me on my first day back. Suddenly I was fashionable. Women tried to smile like me and wore cosmetics to color their skin like mine. Now you know why I'm smiling. I am happy to see you. I am happy to be back where I belong. I am happy to be me, Mona Lisa. But mine is a knowing smile. It has stored secrets for more than 500 years. The secrets of artists and kings, a hot night in August, and a mustache. It is a smile that knows many secrets, but now so do you. Shh, listen to the guide. He is still talking about me. Who stole Mona Lisa? That's a true story. Someone really did steal the beautiful painting of the Mona Lisa. Thank you for listening.